Prof. Good morning, viewers. It is the SonRise show again. It is a beautiful Sunday morning. I am glad to be alive. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here again with you, bringing you this lovely show to wherever you are in your homes. Prof, good morning to you. How are you doing? So good to
morning,
see you
baby.
again.
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Good to see you again. I don't know, is it over there yet? You know, saying Happy New Year and all that?
No, not really, because we're still in January. Yes, so it's still Happy New Year.
I'm going to keep saying Happy New Year every Sunday in January. But for those who haven't joined us yet this new year, Happy and higher New Year.
New Year.
Good to see you again on such a lovely Sunday morning. Yes, SonRise.
That's right. It is SonRise. We're here again. So, Prof, how was your week? How was the first few weeks of January? You know, because we're like in the third week now, aren't we? Or just got into the third week. So
yeah, exactly.
How was your week?
Well, you know how it always is. By the time you get back to work after the break, you kind of want a break after the break so that you can get over the break. But I think at this point the break seems like a distant memory.
It is actually. It's not. It seems. It's actually, yes. Because I know that my first week back at work was so super busy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's only the first week of the year. I mean, like, guys, chill.
Well, you know what? It's interesting you say that, because given all the things that have already happened, right? Particularly across the pond, and just what's happened here. It seems like, wow, right? This is an interesting start to the year, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it will be an interesting year for all of us, with so many things happening, in the US, as we've seen, here in the UK as well, and all over the world generally. So we just have to be hopeful. As Pastor Semi said, it is the year to go up higher, and we are going up higher regardless. So
I think these are all signs of going higher, actually. Birth pains, typically, when something great is coming out, it's not usually the most auspicious of starts.
Exactly.
So, you know what? All the things that we've seen happening, and some of them we'll talk about this morning, but I think that they are pointing towards a higher 2021.
They are definitely. So, Prof, thank you so much. And then viewers, if you're just joining us again, Happy New Year to you and good morning. It's good to have you with us this morning. Prof, I thought about this over the week, and I'm sure you've read this, you've seen it on the news and everything, and it's just about social media. I feel like we should actually talk about social media and the usage of it. We've seen so many people being banned on social media, and there is our favorite guy that just happened recently as well. Well, yes. I mean, it happened, and when things are happening at that level, does that really say anything to us? So in terms of social media usage, how do you see it, and what can you really say to how people use social media from your own view?
Yeah. So you know what? This is interesting, because this whole conversation around this use of social media, it's not a new conversation. It's been going on for, in fact, since the social media started being used. I don't know that you remember many years ago. I don't know what year that was now. In London, where there were the riots in Tottenham.
Yes.
Yeah. And people actually organized those riots using, at the time, BlackBerry, right? It was the BB Messenger that they used. Right. That was before we started to talk of WhatsApp. So even at the time, there was the conversation, and the reason they used it was because of the secure messaging. So they were able to set things up and stay a step at least ahead of the authorities. And I know why you're asking this particular question is, of course, on the back of what happened in the US a couple of weeks ago now. Again,
when you see like how many platforms banning one single person, hey, there is something going on. So
there is, you know what, right, baby? Obviously, we're not trying to trivialize what happened that day. It was a very serious thing that happened.
It was, yeah.
Our intention this morning is not to talk about the actual events on the day, but to consider what has been the fallout from that. And a big fallout of that is this idea of kind of the president being banned from the main social media platforms. So from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then some of the followers went into Parley, which was also kind of...
Oh yeah, some followers literally left Twitter because they...
In fact, at the last count, I think there were at least 70,000 related accounts that were banned from Twitter. So I guess my first question when I look at this is that a proportionate response? Okay, we will talk about the appropriateness of it, but is it a proportionate response? And what I mean is, is this like using a sledgehammer to kill a mouse or an ant, or is this the right thing to do given the seriousness of what happened, what could have happened, and what subsequently happened after the inauguration itself? Or sorry, I beg your pardon, what is expected to happen around the inauguration itself?
Do you know, I think personally, it's when you say that is this proportionate to what was happened, I would want to focus on the office of this person. Yeah. Because as the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected, right? So it's like, if you're going to, for every time you tweet something, you say something, everything goes round, things happen. Even the stock market reacts to everything that is being tweeted from that account. So, and if you think about it, so this is an individual who is very powerful. And I always say that in terms of social media and the people that you have on social media, not everybody is sensible. Do you understand? People read one thing and they take it as the gospel truth without looking into it, without researching to be sure this is absolute true. Do you understand? So if you're going to be putting out anything there, I feel responsible when I post anything on social media, right? I actually check to see if I post this and I get backlash on this, do I have a ground to stand? Can I really put my name behind this? Can I show my face and say, yes, I posted this and this is why I believe in this? But you don't see that. People hide behind the platforms, and you see like literally evil people coming out to say things that they wouldn't say to you, to your face. Do you understand?
People. Wow, somebody's passing judgment here.
Yeah, no, I'm not passing judgment. Like, you just need to read some comments on some posts. When you see people post stuff and you see the comments that people make on their posts, I always say that it is your page. Whatever you choose to post there, that's up to you. However, you also have a sense of responsibility as well for your followers. Like, ensure that whatever you put out there, it's not impacting them negatively. So let's say, for instance, when the EndSARS movement was going on, right? If someone had posted something, EndSARS Nigeria, yes. If someone had posted something like, oh, they are killing people in Ajegunle or something like that. Some people that they don't even know where Ajegunle is. They don't even know what the whole place looks like or anything, will sit thousands of miles away and be posting different things. Oh, this is how they're killing people. This is how they didn't see it. They only went just because of what that person said. So for me, I think if you ask, is it proportionate? I would say, well, if they didn't do that, what else could they have done? Trump would just keep going. And there are people who are following this guy blindly. I'm not saying that everything he does is wrong or is right, but we also have to be a bit responsible with the way we use social media.
Well, your point's very well made. I'd say that, yes, whenever we talk of proportionality, we have to look at the magnitude of the potential consequences of inaction.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So in this case, we don't even need to look far, because you could see what could have happened when that attack, took place. The more information came out in the immediate aftermath of it, the more scary, I would say, and the more collective sigh of relief that people heap to see what could have happened. Just, it's a different turn, and there you could have seen, let's not even go there, but if you imagine what could have happened that day on global TV, and I think that's one. So when you look at what could have happened, that tells you the potential magnitude. As somebody says, the entire line of succession of the United States was in that building, from the vice president. So number 2 was there, number 3 was there.
Imagine.
So that number 1 was a very, very serious, in terms of magnitude, very, very serious. The second thing would be, what are the potential consequences of inaction? Like you said, if that happened at that time, when you have the inauguration happening, which should be happening in a couple of days now.
In a few days, yeah.
If the same thing were to repeat, you have a very serious national security threat, okay? And so as far as proportionality is concerned, I think that you would have to say, without considering all the different ramifications, you would have to say it's hard to argue that this was not a proportional response, because you put it this way, you said, what else could they have done?
Yeah, I mean,
and you know what, baby, this brings me to the other part of that question. We might say it's proportional or proportionate, but is it appropriate? And I will explain what I mean, right?
I'll let you answer that, because you know where I stand on this already. Anyway, so I'll let you answer it.
So I'll give you an analogy. Okay. Within the church, we also have issues with people with incorrect teaching. Okay. Yeah. With, unfortunately, false prophecy. And with people actually knowingly teaching what they know to be wrong, right? It's one thing being misled or not knowing any better and being ignorant. Yeah. It's another thing knowingly leading people down the wrong path, right? And so imagine that you were a leader of a church, Pastor Bibi, and you have, a number of people that, come to your church, and then somebody visits.
I'm going to be a real preacher, a true preacher of God's word. I'm not going to be...
Preacher Bibi. Okay, Preacher Bibi. And then you have this guest that comes and you invite this guest, all the best of intentions, and this guest comes and then you give the guest a platform. One could say you should do your due diligence. And there's nothing you did before that suggested this guest was going to do anything radical. And then the guest goes on the platform and then starts to say stuff that you think, oh, no.
I'll just tell the media team to off the mic.
So you would turn off their microphone? Okay.
Yeah, just turn off the mic.
Okay, so the reason I put that question out there is that it's very easy on the one hand to say this is an assault on free speech, and it is, because where do you draw the line, right? Somebody said, whereas I may not agree with you, but I would defend to the very death. The person says, you're right to say what you have to say. I may not agree with it, but I will defend your right to say it. And that's been one of the very pillars of Western democracy, Western society. And one of the things that, give people who live in this part of the world security and say, at least to a great degree, saying what they want to say against the government. I mean, some of that is changing now, but, open your mouth and say without thinking that, the thought police will come, in the dark of the night and then arrest the person.
Okay? Arrest you.
But the question then becomes, if social media platforms suddenly begin to play the role of policemen, and that means that they can decide that what this person has said merits to be silenced, right? Yeah. Or merits to be taken off air. That puts us in a situation where we then have to consider, number one, what is the definition of a social media platform? What is it that falls within their remit? And number two, what does this mean for free speech? What does this mean for positions that over time have proven to become less and less popular? For example, the positions of the church with regard to certain issues in society. What does that mean, right? Because you could say foreseeably at some point, whether in the near future and the distant future, such positions will then be seen as unpopular. Such positions could be argued to, even if speciously, but still argued to constitute a threat to public peace. Yeah. And then you could actually see such dissenting opinions being banned. So that it becomes a really a dilemma. And that's why I raised the question with you, because you see, even in our own individual spaces, we do the same. And that's why I said, even within church, right, we tend to curate the content that comes out because we care for the flock, and we want to make sure that whatever it is that is coming out to the flock, it is sanctioned by the leadership in the church, right? Right. And in the same way, ideally, you want to be able to say that whatever it is, I think you started with this, that people are receiving there should be somehow a way to validate that information and to check that it is true. But that's where the big problem is. If you're going to do that, you then no longer are a platform, you become like a publisher, like a newspaper, who is responsible for everything that gets published there. And you then can't say, well, it's the free world, anybody can say whatever they want to say, which is what these guys say now. when you do that, then you become responsible for what's in there, meaning that somebody could say, somebody came on your platform, said something about me, you allowed it to be published, therefore I hold you responsible for it, and therefore I'm going to sue you. So, so platforms don't want to get to that, But on the other hand, so how do you deal with this? You mentioned NSAS. It was actually a thing. Apparently, the Nigerian government wanted to sponsor
to sign a bill,
social media bill. Yes, that would monitor and in some way regulate the use of social media. I'm not sure that's the right way to go. In fact, I don't think that's the right way to go.
Do the thing is, in my day life, my real life, I'm a risk manager, right? And in risk management, there are going to be things that will be within your control, right? You can control them before you know that whatever I decide to do on this, I will get it done. There is something called risk appetite. Risk appetite is basically the level of risk that you're able to accept, that, okay, this is what I want to, I'm happy to be open to this risk. You see, in terms of managing social media platforms, in terms of what people come on here to say and everything, I personally feel it will be too much of a risk for anyone, any government whatsoever, to have a bill on or to sign some sort of legislation on how the platforms are being used, right? Because you and I can go online now and we say to ourselves, we're going to say A, and as soon as we go live, I start to say B, and you say A. The worst that can happen at that time, I said earlier, that pastor, I'll tell the media team to off the mic, right? But whatever it is that he had said before the mic went off, that will stay on forever on that platform. Do you understand? How do you manage that? How do you prevent that? So I think, yes, there is that place of, you have the freedom of speech, you can say whatever you like and everything. But I would like to say there is also the place of being responsible.
Yeah.
There are some people, if someone comes on the platform and they say something, for instance, them, their position in the society, you're most likely to listen to what they've got to say. But let's say an ordinary person or a child comes online and says something, you're probably just going to read it and move on to the next page, right? You're not going to
assuming it's a child, because
assuming it's a child, exactly. But as I said, a lot of these people hide behind their phones and their devices and everything. So yeah.
You know what, Bibi? I think the more I think of this, I think this is a very consequential discussion. And what I would suggest is, because I think, of course, the inauguration is coming up and the impeachment is progressing. Right. So I think that there will be an opportunity for us to pick this up again. And I would like to, because there are two things I'd like to highlight. And you've already mentioned, or those two things have come out in this conversation. One is the responsibility and or the role of the managers of the platform or the publishers, depending on what you call them. And two, the role and or responsibility of government.
That's right.
And these two things are not the same. Okay. So on the one hand, when a platform becomes a publisher, the platform can also make editorial decisions and to say, you know what, this is our position and what you're saying does not align with that position, so we're not going to give you airtime on our platform, on our outlet. If you don't like it, go to another one. Yeah. But that, because then they will be saying to you, we're not holding any semblance of equity here. We're not pretending to be equitable in our treatment of people. We have a position and we're going to stick to that, which is what you're doing in your church. You're saying this is a position we take regarding X, Y, Z. This is not, free for all forum.
It's not a free for all.
What you're saying doesn't line up with what our position is. We're going to shut you down, right?
Exactly.
That's not free speech, right? No. But there is responsibility there to your audience.
Absolutely.
But then the second one becomes, above all of that sits the regulatory role of government. Because ultimately everything that happens will have to sit within that regulatory framework. And I would argue that that's where the most important battle or discussion needs to be taking place.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be enough of a regulatory framework that makes it impossible, right, for any organizations to unilaterally, or even a group of organizations, to decide among themselves that we're going to silence this viewpoint because it doesn't allow what you say. There needs to be a framework for that. Yeah. And that's what I want us to talk about next, because I think that, not today, obviously, but
I was going to say yes, Prof. Definitely, we should come back to this. We definitely
need to, because I would like us to look at the role what we can do, how we as the
because we all have different roles to play.
Yes, can be part. You know, it's a deep conversation. It's a detailed one, but we don't want to sit back. You know, there are people that are fearmongers with this sort of thing. That's going to happen. No, the point is, how can we shape that future? How can we be part of that future? How can we move away from just sitting back and letting things happen to actually seeing what's going to happen? We can anticipate these things will happen. How should we respond to them? But that's a conversation for another day.
Exactly, definitely. Thank you. I mean, I woke you up for today's, and I'm sure our viewers also would ask for it. So we're definitely revisiting this conversation. I feel like we need to let everyone know, people need to know that we are all responsible. We all have different roles to play in this. So how are you playing your part? That's something we should definitely revisit. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this so far. Don't go away. It is our Spotlight Minutes next. We'll see you in a few seconds. Hi, Tokes. Good morning.
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Happy New Year, Tokes.
Happy New Year.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Welcome on the show again. It's your, I think, second time.
Yeah,
we were winners last year. By the way, Prof made us drop the crown.
Old things are past. Old things are past.
What happened?
You know, we dropped the crown. So the record now is 5. Can you imagine? We set the bar so high last year, and Prof wouldn't just let us continue with that. But anyway, that's fine. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming again. Our viewers, please welcome with us our own Bro Tokunbo. So it was my partner in the winning last year. So please don't let me down this morning. Please let's keep it up, okay?
I'll try.
You know how this goes. If join us for the Spotlight Minutes. Prof will ask the questions as we always do, and I will time us. And I'm sure the timer will be on the screen as well. So it wouldn't be like, maybe you cheated or something. And some people, yes, that I've been saying I've been cheating. I don't cheat. I am actually very straightforward. So yes, so the record to break for this morning is 5 questions under 30 seconds. So let's see if you can get over 5 questions under 30 seconds.
Let's see.
So, and Prof, are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Ready. Okay, so your time starts now.
What is a random food you hate?
Random food I ate. Panada.
What is the one place you're dying to travel to?
Bahamas.
Which female celebrity is your ultimate dream girl?
Amani Obali.
Which fictional movie character do you wish you could be more like?
Time
Fictional.
Up, sorry.
That's 3.
Time up.
Oh my word.
Oh Lord. I mean, talk about what happened there. What happened
He was
there?
giving us a speech. After each question, he would say, what did you say?
You read the question again. You said the question yourself again.
Anyway.
Oh my
God. Anyway, it's all
There
good.
you go.
It's a new year, new things. Thank you very much, Tokes. That was 3.
Yes,
Yep.
3 questions.
Okay.
But yes, thank you so much. I'm sure our bro Fola is smiling wherever he is right now, like it's still raining. Yes.
Wait, Fola Albert.
Yes, he had the prize. So yes,
Okay.
but thank you so much for joining us. It's good to
Thank
have
you.
you again.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in service. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All
Bye.
right, so fun.
Oh wow, that was so interesting, Prof. Well, Tokunbo, well done.
That was
well
fun.
done. It was fun. I mean, 3 questions. That's something. Yes. Maybe you can try again very soon. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
Prof.
why not?
It's time for service. Do you want to take us to service now, please?
Yes, of course. And as we said at the beginning of this show, it's not too late to say Happy New Year. Why? Because we're still in January. I think the same way we're still talking about what it means to go higher in 2021. And Pastor Temi has already started to talk to us about the things that we need to do, how we need to get set, what we need to put in place, talking to us about where we need to start, whether from prophecy, to resolutions and so forth. But I don't know what he's going to talk about today, but what I know, baby, is that it's going to position us even better to make 2021 a higher year. Looking forward to it. And I invite everybody that is watching us right now, don't go anywhere. Join us again as we go into the service. Take care. God bless you.
Thank you all. See you next week. Bye.